You have a lot of potential targets to sue yourself. Will you be suing any of these news organizations, and if so, when?
Well, right now we're looking at quite a few politicians, athletes. Whoopi Goldberg's on the list. She called me a murderer.
2 people were murdered. Yeah. To me, it's murder. I'm sorry.
After I was acquitted by a jury of my peers, she went on to still say that.
Now, words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected.
I'm gonna come.
And there's others. Don't forget about Sank from the Young Turks. He called me a murderer before verdict and continues to call me a murderer.
Kyle Rittenhouse murdered these people. Bravo! Way to go, murderer! We started out with me being wrong there, and I was wrong again. And so I think I've learned my lesson.
They're all gonna be held accountable, and we're gonna handle them in a courtroom.
Damn it, I'm tired of it.
It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Said it's too late to apologize.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and the other shoe has begun to drop. Many of us who followed Kyle's trial closely and the whole story and how it got politicized and how the media willingly and repeatedly lied about him, many of us have been waiting for kind of that justice, that other shoe to fall in terms of suing some of these news outlets, media personalities, and things like this, because, you know, there has to be a punishment for this. It's one thing to, like, it literally is one thing to get something wrong. I mean, it just is. And it's another thing entirely to purposely get it wrong, purposely continue lying about somebody and profiting from it. There has to be a penalty for that. We all get things wrong, but what they've done, they need to suffer a deep cut to their bottom line, probably using one of these Kamikoto knives. Quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Kamikoto. That's right, Kamikoto makes Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Japan. Over 800 years of Japanese technology and expertise have gone into creating the steel that this knife has been meticulously handcrafted from, using techniques that date all the way back to the Edo period of Japan. Kamikoto only uses steel sourced from mills in Japan. Each knife comes in a beautiful, heavy-duty wood box. It makes sure that the knife is stored safely. Each knife is individually inspected and comes with a lifetime guarantee. These are knives that I personally own and use. I got a set through this promotion. Over Christmas, I used it to cut a beautiful brisket that I had made for the holidays, and cut ham and turkey and all sorts of things. Not only did it work flawlessly, but it was a talking point at the table. The knives felt like the perfect weight. They were perfectly balanced. And on top of all of this, just for you, my subscribers, you guys can get an additional $50 off any purchase you make with discount code TheQuartering. So click the link below and go to kamikoto.com/thequartering and use promo code TheQuartering to save an extra $50 today. So last night, Kyle went on Tucker Carlson to announce that he was going to begin fundraising for to hold certain media companies accountable for their lives. I will say I'm a little, how do I say this? I'm a little uncomfortable with the blind fundraising. Okay, he's been burned before by that. And also, like, I hope that Kyle gets his dough before he takes on like a larger cause. If he has somebody in his ear now saying like, oh, we've got to create a foundation. No, bro, Kyle. And hopefully this is just his plan. Get the suits filed, get your money, and then worry about everybody else. It's literally like you're on the airplane. Put your own oxygen mask on first and then help the guy next to you, because he could extract a couple $100 million, in my opinion, from people like CNN and Whoopi Goldberg and the Young Turks and all these people that he mentioned directly. But I hope it doesn't like distract him. But he releases this video last night.
The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent.
By the way, absolutely amazing shot there, because just another perfect on target for Kyle, bringing the Waukesha guy in there. You know, his SUV wildly mowed down his SUV mowed down a bunch of people. He was just along for the ride.
That's power.
That white supremacist 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse.
A 17-year-old vigilante, arguably a domestic.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a militiaman wannabe.
President Joe Biden, who used a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse as a white supremacist.
Is absolutely white supremacy.
You're innocent, but do you feel vindicated?
I feel like justice was served.
He used the meme. They cut in the meme part.
Right. There's going to be some accountability coming.
You are the enemy of the people.
Next little hype video. Again, I am nervous because I don't know what TMAP is, and I need to know more about this. But I really, really hope that the media is held to task. And I would say they are freaking out a little bit. There's been about 1,000 articles written since he announced this, and I think they're actually scared. I really do. People forget that lawsuits like this have taken down companies. Like Hulk Hogan single-handedly taking down, was it Gawker at the time? I know they're back in some capacity now, but they'll never be the same. Who knows what the Sandman kid got paid out. And Kyle's payouts should be far, far more money. Kyle Rittenhouse launches initiative to fight media lies, and Whoopi Goldberg. He called out Whoopi Goldberg directly. He called out the Young Turks directly. And he called out, and Tucker asked him if he was going to also sue Joe Biden. He didn't say specifically, but he implied he might. Now, I'm not going to read the media smear because I already know what the Guardian's going to say about him. Me and my team have decided to launch the Media Accountability Project, Kyle said, as a tool to help fundraise and hold the media accountable for the lies they say and deal with them in court. Tucker asked if, like the Covington Catholic kids, high schoolers from Kentucky who became embroiled in more media lies, you will be suing news organizations that maliciously lie about people who are in the news. Yes, sir, Kyle said. We are going to be holding them accountable. Kyle, who's 19, repeatedly drank from his bottle of water, and he was nervous. He was clearly nervous, all right? Give the kid a break. He's not a pundit. I don't want to see anyone have to deal with this, what I went through, so I went to hold them accountable for what they did to me, because I don't want to see anybody go through what I went through. By the way, the thing with drinking water, I get anxiety. Like when I publicly speak, like I have to take pills, and it's pathetic, but it is what it is. I remember when I spoke at the conference in Milwaukee, I have to have a bottle of water with me because whatever in my head I feel like I have to swallow, it just helps. So maybe it was something like that. Tucker asked if Kyle had any particular targets. He said, well, right now we're looking at quite a few politicians, celebrities, and athletes. Whoopi Goldberg is on the list. She called me the M-word after I was acquitted by a jury of my peers. Goldberg, the co-host of View on ABC, said, Kyle, even all the excuses in the world do not change the fact, blah, blah, blah. Then he said, don't forget Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. He called me things before I was acquitted and continues to call me those things now. Most observers agree such speech is protected under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Dave Schuster, former MSNBC anchor, now with the Young Turks, tweeted, the courts have long established that calling someone this is not an opinion and a legal right, even after the person is found not guilty. At that point, one can still claim they're this, it's just not a convicted that. Nobody called Kyle that, he has no case. Well, maybe, but here's the other way Kyle can win. He can make you spend $100,000 in court defending it. That's the risk you take, right? When you want to poke the bear, that's the risk you take. He can come and he can take you to court because he thinks he's right, and then you're going to have to spend tens of thousands of dollars defending yourself. And quite frankly, for a YouTube channel that gets no views. The Young Turks unless they're getting outside funding, can't possibly be very profitable. With their big set and all their staff, like there's just no way. Their channel is just completely toast. And like, I don't know if they're gonna make it to the 2024 elections. They'll see a small spike during the midterms, but like the only time anyone ever talks about the Young Turks is when it's election time and it's you queue up that great Young Turks meltdown video and you enjoy that. Now, Kyle has no case, says critics. Well, I mean, Cope? Did Nicholas Sandmann have no case? You know, I think that I would pick my targets where it would be obvious wins, like the ones that continue to say he crossed state lines and that his mom drove him there. There are plenty of them. Maybe the Young Turks just calling him that isn't the best example, but he certainly got their attention and he certainly got them afraid. Like that, you know, it's funny, like saying he has no case doesn't actually make it that way. I'm not a lawyer, but neither is this guy. And if it goes to a jury, who knows? A free press, according to Edward Snowden, said can be good or bad, but without freedom, the press will never be anything but bad. As someone called worse things by bigger names, lawsuits against newspapers over hurt feelings, even false claims, are not the answer, won't fix people, but will harm rights, according to Snowden. I disagree. The world does not need CNN. The world does not need MSNBC or the Young Turks or Whoopi Goldberg's opinions. The world will not be worse without them. The world will not be worse if CNN loses $100 million in court. It will be better. I disagree with Edward here completely. Like, absolutely, completely disagree. And look, CNN's not going to fold up, but if they lose 20 million, 30 million to this kid, good. On top of viewership being down somewhere around 90%, that couldn't possibly reflect well. I mean, they just had to fire their CEO and one of their top anchors for being creeps. How about losing a 20, 30, $40 million lawsuit to Kyle, too, on top of that? I think that there will probably be some cases he's going to want to pick his spots, right? He's going to want to pick his spots. He's going to want to get his ones where like they're the most egregious. Stacks. If I could offer any advice to Kyle, it would be pick your spots where it's an easy win. Don't let people talk you into making a statement and doing this other stuff. Get your W's, get your money, and then worry about making a statement. Because, you know, I think that these lawsuits obviously will be very expensive for Kyle. And if he doesn't feel like he has a very strong chance of winning, there's almost no point to it. Because taking these people to court and losing, you know, you could call it a moral victory because they'd have spent a bunch of money defending themselves, but he's just a kid. And you know what? Like, he could go get a book deal and make a couple $1,000,000 and get his life going. I guess I'm coming from this from like, I have empathy for him. Like, yes, I believe there are some easy wins in court that he should take advantage of, but I also think, you know, don't take too big of a bite of the apple. You know, pick your spots, the best spots, get your money, write your book, do your exclusives, set yourself up for life, and then worry about activism, which is what this kind of turns into. There's no doubt in my mind, though, that the media is scared because you never know what's going to happen once it gets to the courtroom. You just don't. Hey, and oh, by the way, if you have an mine is at instagram.com/thequarteringyt. I produce short form content for Instagram, kind of 1-minute summary videos of all the day's most important topics. I'll leave that in the description. If you use Instagram, please do consider giving me a follow there. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that'll be it for this topic, and we'll move on now to the next.